Equity isn't just a nice to have, it's a must have. A focus on gender equity needs to be part of every society's DNA. We can all truly embrace equity. It's not just something we say, it's not just something we write about. It's something we need to think about, know, and embrace. That's why this year we're creating a series of EV Cargo podcasts to embrace this year's theme, as it's something we believe in, unconditionally. We want EV Cargo to be a workplace where all colleagues are treated fair and equal. And by raising awareness of women's personal experiences, we hope to move one step closer. I'm Deb Wallbanks from Pallet Force at EV Cargo, and I'm delighted to introduce today's guest, Jo Duncan, Hub Operations Director. Thank you for joining me today, Jo.
Thank you.
First, I'd love to know your route into logistics and how you ended up working in this industry.
So I was 21 when I first started working in logistics, and I actually started as a temp working for Nestle. It was just doing office admin work. I then went into stock control, and I really enjoyed that because I really enjoyed getting into the detail. And I was there for over 16 years in the end, and I was promoted 4 times within that time. So really, really enjoyable.
Wow, that's impressive. I know this one's a tough one, Jo, because I know what your days are like, but what's a typical day like for you?
2 days are never the same for me. It just depends on how the operation's gone the night before. Sometimes, if the team needs support, then I'm there for the team. If the members need support, then I'm there for the members. So really it could be all day full of calls, but then it could also be meetings. I've got reports that I have to do on KPI and costs, etc. So it's a really difficult question to answer because no 2 days are the same. I do what I need to do on the day that it is.
Thanks for that. I'd also like to know, what did you want to do when you were younger?
Logistics actually wasn't something that I thought about doing. It was a social worker that I wanted to be.
Wow, very different route.
Completely different, yeah.
Thanks. Is there any advice that you would have liked to have received at the start of your career?
I've actually been very lucky, to be honest, and I've always had advice and support along my journey, which has really proved invaluable. This is one of the things that I've always done with my team as well, as it's really helped me.
Excellent. In light of International Women's Day, what do you think is the biggest challenge for gender equality in the workplace?
It seems that females must prove that they're strong enough to cope with any situations. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. A lot of the older generation were brought up in business when women stayed at home and looked after the family. And unfortunately, some of those attitudes still exist. So I do think it's a big thing that female just have to not improve, that they have to prove themselves.
Yeah, I understand that. The theme this year for International Women's Day is Embrace Equity. What does equity mean to you?
That we must treat everyone the same, that nothing else matters. It's just about us all being on the same page. I'll invest as much time as needed to the person wanting to speak to me.
What is the highlight of your career to date? It's a tough one.
I have got a few of these. I think the ones that really stick with me is the warehouse operatives. So, there's a couple of people along the way that have been in really bad places and constantly underperforming, always in trouble, from in work and out of work. And I really get a lot out of investing time in those people and listening to them, supporting them, guiding them, to the point where this particular individual, he really turned his life around. And for me, that just, it makes me so proud to know that I was part of that journey. He went from being in a really, really bad place and he's now a manager. So
wow.
That for me
excellent.
is, yeah.
So who inspires you?
My husband inspires me. He's an exec business coach, and so I get a lot of advice and guidance from him, even when I don't ask for it, but I do get it. But he really is an absolute inspiration. The things that it's just the one-liners sometimes that he comes out with, honestly, are just incredible. And I know that he believes in me, and just to have him there, he's an absolute inspiration for me.
Such good support. Excellent. Finally, to conclude, what 3 tips would you give to any woman aspiring to be a member of the senior management team?
Never be afraid to challenge. Have confidence in your ability, and be yourself and enjoy the journey.
Thanks, Jo. Thanks for your time today.
You're welcome.